We're live. We're super live. We're so live. What's up, friendly neighborhood nerds? I don't know how many are in the chat right now. What's up, friendly neighborhood nerd? To the one person currently in the chat. What's up, Jane Awesome? It's good to have you here. This is Judah Rad, and it's another episode of Live from the Apocalypse. I'm here with Robo Strange. We also have a special guest here, Kristen. Tell me if I'm saying this right. We should have clarified before we even started. Kiomall-Evans.
Kiomall.
Kiomall.
Q as in the letter Q, and mall is in a shopping mall.
Kristen Kiomall-Evans. Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's spelled wrong.
Oh, okay. Cool. And we're going to talk about your book. What are Roman numerals again? Oh, yeah. 12 Magic and Muses. Did I get it right?
Yes, you did. Congrats.
Sweet. But before we get into all that, let's kind of talk about what we've been nerding out on. I know that I'm always nerding out, but I'm going to go last. Why don't we start with Kristen? Why don't you tell us what you've been nerding out on these days?
I've been currently reading the Baru, the Trader series by Seth. By Seth Dickinson, the Trader Baru Cormorant series, and it is a really hardcore, like, zombie post-apocalyptic lesbian disaster show trilogy that I've been reading, and it's like really interesting.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, I needed something to fill the void of the Locked Tomb series by. Sorry.
Is this a picture book or like a
it's a novel series. It's a novel series. Because I draw comics all the time, reading comics is fairly difficult to have your eyes in two spaces. So I read a lot of audiobooks.
Oh, nice. I also
but they're the nerdiest things that I can get my hand on while drawing comics at the same time. I'm also reading comic-wise. I read a lot of webtoons. So I'm reading Facing the Sun, which is another sapphic love story, bittersweet robots, solar punk, the whole deal. What else am I? Osirillo by she's a Mura on Twitter, which is about futuristic Romans who essentially have to deal with an Evangelion-esque situation with a foreign parasitic monster that takes over the main character's dead brother.
Oh, yeah. That happens. That happens. It happens. Hey, can I just be the one, because I know Robo doesn't know either, but can I just be the one to be the dummy here and just ask, what does the word sapphic mean?
So sapphic essentially just means women loving women. So
okay.
It's a generalized term so that it's not exclusive. Oh, there you go. It's not exclusive to just lesbians. It includes bisexual women and other gender spectrum and that kind of stuff.
Awesome. I learned a new word. That's awesome.
Yeah. That last part, that last bit of detail I didn't know, but I knew it was the ladies.
Yeah. It's ladies, but not exclusively ladies.
Right. Got it.
Got it. So, Robo, what have you been nerding out on lately?
So, like most things, I am pretty late. I'm a late bloomer. And finally, because of Netflix and because of your suggestions, and we'll talk about it here soon for the show we're going to do, I've been reading Sandman. Now, Sandman is not new to me. I didn't just realize about it, but I have picked it up before, and we're just kind of like, I think I was like in a phase where, like, I need like the Living Tribunal. I need like
cosmic godlike abstracts.
Yeah, but then it's like, oh, here are these gods, and I'm reading them, and it just didn't grab me, and I kind of put it away. And it was kind of like The Watchmen. Actually, it took me like I finally read The Watchmen like 15 years after it came out, and I think that's where. Anyways, that's what I'm reading. I'm reading that. I'm watching the Naruto, and I'm playing Dead by Daylight.
I'm also enjoying Naruto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you still in the beginning, or have you?
I'm still in the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my son, my son is like full weeb, but he's like he's like a Zoomer weeb, where like he's like still like the coolest kid I know, and he's like 6'2" and has cool hair and has fashion and plays soccer and has lots of friends, but then also watches like Naruto and I'm like, what is going on here? Because you would be made fun of and bullied when I was a kid, but now it's cool.
Mhm.
So I'm like, good. I'm so happy to hear this.
Being nerdy's cool now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm not complaining.
This is what happens
So-
when we turned into adults. We get to make the rules now.
That's
so-
it. That's
Right,
it.
that's it.
Yep.
So I got my new bad idea shipment, and at first I had a panic attack because, as anyone who's been watching kind of knows, I'm obsessed with ENIAC from Bad Idea, and they were late this week. But I got their other books. I got Tankers #2, which these are the books where when I pick them up, I read them in the car before I even like start driving again. Like I'm like so hungry for these books. But I read Tankers, and it's cool. It's if you like if you like #1, you're gonna like #2. And then they did this kind of a one shot called Hank Howard Pizza Detective in Caligula's Safe, and it's a black and white book, but it also has Robo. You remember that Save Now book, or that Save Now short story that Dinesh posted?
Yep.
It has that. It has that.
Oh, is that part? Is it in that book? That's it.
It's just randomly in the middle. You're reading like this story, and then you turn a page, and it's like Save Now, and then there's that whole short, and then you turn the page, and it's back to the main story.
Nice.
But yeah, and so this is really good, and ENIAC is expected to come out. We're going to talk a little bit more about Bad Idea later, and then the last thing. Before I'm not going to get into. I'm reading Noctura. I'm reading Star Wars: War of the Bounty Hunters. I'm reading that Jeff Johns book that I can't remember what it's called right now. But it's pretty good. Robo has the glow in the dark one, but I got this in the mail. It's the what's it called? Treasury edition sized
Geiger
Marvels. Yeah, Geiger, that's the one. So this is like I have such a love for like gigantic books, but this has, among other things, a story about the Silver Surfer, illustrated by Lee Bermejo, who is like this artist I'm obsessed with, and just check out these big ass images of the Surfer.
Wow.
Isn't that dope?
That's amazing.
Yeah. I know, I love it.
I've got like Alex Ross vibes from that.
He does have Alex Ross vibes. You're absolutely right. In fact, I was talking about this the other day. I would even go as far as to say that maybe he's better than Alex Ross. But
wait. Calm down. What?
Check,
put it up again. Put it up again.
Hold on a second. This is Lee Bermejo, and he's also the guy that illustrated that Joker book by it's an okay book. It's by Brian Azzarello, but the art is like stunning. But this is Lee Bermejo just casually drawing a picture of the Surfer.
That's pretty good. That's good.
Let
me go.
That's good.
I know, and it's all grayscale. Yeah. Just kind of blows my mind.
I mean, it's really good. Just don't ever blaspheme Alex Ross again.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out what he paints in, because those almost look like Copics, but I don't want to.
I think it is Copic. Wow. I think that's what that's what Polly, I think that's the word she used to describe it.
Okay.
I don't know.
It looks like Copics, but like that's a crazy technique. They're gorgeous.
It is, yeah, agreed. Really, really gorgeous. So we're gonna talk to Kristen about Magic 12 Magic and Muses, but first, just some quick announcements. So everyone's aware of Club Valiant. The next episode, we're gonna cover Exo Manowar Volume 3, Planet Death, and it is on the 20th. And then on the 27th, we are debuting our newest book club. It's called Delirium Hour, and it is our Sandman book club because the show is coming out and we're going to get all caught up. And I did read these books a long time ago, but I don't remember everything. I just finished reading Preludes and Nocturnes, and I don't even think I was intelligent enough to understand it when I first read it. So it's nice to like kind of read it as a grown-up now. But yeah, read Preludes and Nocturnes, and then link up with us on the 27th of June for a conversation about it. Robo, you got anything that I forgot regarding announcements?
EXO, Sandman, and no.
Okay. Okay. So, Kristen, you have a lot of work that you
Yes.
Can you pick it up? Can you pick it up again and just show us these hefty ass volumes?
So this, whoa, I've got the big stuff.
Let me make you bit. Yeah, okay, roll
Yeah,
it.
there we go. So these are my web comics, now print comics, called 12 of Magic and Muses. I've been working on them for 8 years, and I just released the third one through Kickstarter.
Nice.
But the cool thing is that they're all actually now available through regular bookstores. So Waterstones, Chapters, in Barnes and Noble. I don't know if they're on Amazon yet, or what the Australian equivalent of that is. But essentially, you don't have to buy them through the Kickstarter anymore. You just get the second edition as opposed to these really nice first editions.
Nice.
They're still nice, obviously, but you don't get the first edition. I'm sorry, and you don't get cool stickers, which I send out with my books. So
Are you out of first edition?
no, actually, I still have very few left. And they'll be coming to you out all the way from Canada. So, like, if you're still interested, you can buy them on my store. I don't think I have the third one on yet, but I will be putting that up very shortly. I just got these babies out to everyone on Sunday. So the online store has been taking a little bit of a backseat right now.
Right on.
Yeah, I had like my whole SUV just filled with books to send out. So it's quite exciting to see them actually start actually finding their homes.
That's got to be super exciting, right? As a creator, we all have these ideas, and even when you have a book, like those volumes that you have in your hand, the filling your car up to send out to people who got this, how exciting is that?
I mean, honestly, it's so weird because like I'm working on multiple stories at the same time, so there's this weird like pause where I'm just so busy. And it isn't until I get like a bit of downtime that I'm finally like, oh crap, I just finished a trilogy series.
That's got to be mind blowing.
What?
So speaking of the trilogy, can you kind of catch? I think some of the people in the chat have read this and some haven't. Can you kind of catch us up on what we can expect if we're just getting into 12 Magic and Muses for the first time?
So Magic Muses would be considered a magical girl series. So if you're not familiar with that term, that would be like Sailor Moon, Magic Knight Rayearth, Zodiac Star Force that just came out a few years ago. And basically, they're kind of like the girl version of regular superheroes, though they tend to lean more on like magic and like, you know, obviously like they'll either have weapons or tools that they use. But the thing about my story is that rather than having a mascot that just kind of appears and tells the main character she's a princess, it's actually this skull-faced rat creature that gives her no information.
He's the tuxedo mask?
He's the tuxedo mask.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find the photo. I mean, he's technically...
Let's enlarge... Again, hold on.
She's technically more of the Luna, the cat, the talking cat that Sailor Moon has. That's like, hey, by the way, you're a princess. So she gets this necklace, but she's stuck in a very militarized school, and there's like it's very restricted. Everything is based around chits and behavior, so she tries to keep it quiet, but unfortunately, the worst person who finds it is her bully. And while her best friend's bully, which makes it even more complicated, so her best friend's bully blackmails her into trying to give her magical powers as well. Even though Willow has no idea what's happening, she ends up giving these powers. And slowly over the course of the story, rather than having a mascot or a guide tell them what to do, they just kind of accidentally infect each other like a mysterious disease. And then you start to realize that the school also tries to like quarantine people, and students go missing, and like there's this whole like underground conspiracy the girls slowly end up lifting as they accidentally spread this magical virus throughout the school.
Crazy. So you write this, you illustrate this, you publish this, you run the crowdfunding for this. You're promoting this. This is like 100% you. You're doing a hell of a lot of work here. What is that like?
Okay, so I grew up on webcomics because like webcomics kind of came out in the 2000s, the same time that the anime boom did, or the manga boom did. So to me, it was just like, oh yeah, people just draw comics on the internet. That's a totally normal thing that people do. And with the advantage of Kickstarter, I just am kind of in those circles where it's like, oh yeah, you just make a comic and then you just publish a book and then you just find out if people want to like pay for that published book. And I guess in my line of work, I just want people to read it, which is why I post it for free and it updates 6 days a week. But at the end of the day, it's like I just don't like taking no for an answer. So it's like the train is moving, and I try to find publishers and people to help me do work. And since I've gotten a series of no's, I just continue to make sure that money gets, like, the project keeps going. So my first book actually failed on Kickstarter. So, but we had enough interest that I was like, okay, I'll take out a small, like, we'll try this loan and go for a much lower number and see if people still want to buy it. And people still wanted to buy it, which was crazy. And then when I launched the second book, like, they took a whole bunch of my first books. So I was like, oh my goodness. And then when book 3 came out, we actually like almost broke 10K. And like, this is just stuff that's like slowly escalated over the course of like 3 years. So it's been like, you know, you just keep going. Comics are so easy. Like, they're easier than ever to make now. They're not easy to make, but they're easier than ever to make now. So like now it's like I can get them published. I can get them into book and mortar stores. I can get them into LCSs. You know, I'm now talking with printers and dealing with print specs and like trying to learn how to market on social media with it, which is awful.
Yeah.
I'm no one, and I have to convince people to give a shit about this. So
there's definitely a leg up on you being the artist, to having the talent to not only be the writer but also the artist.
Yeah.
Like what is your background? Like how, like, we're looking at this right now, and Danny just said it's beautiful. I mean, this is not amateur work. How did you do this?
So, I mean, being a comics kid and being a big nerd computer kid, I didn't really know what to do with my skills. And I had a teacher that said, you should do 3D animation because you want to draw anime, but anime is all the way in Japan and you come from, you know, a redneck town. So don't, you know, maybe bring those dreams down a little bit. Still go after them, but try something that actually has like a big future right now, which is 3D animation. So I was like, okay. So I went to a cheap local college at Loyalist in Belleville, Ontario. And I was like, okay. So I did 3 years. I just kind of learned all of the basics of like some art skills and like some technical skills. And it got me into a lot of software. And then that ended up taking me into building like 3D simulations for military and medical centers, but I couldn't find studio work. So I was like, well, I have a pitch for an animated show, but I know if I try to do it Harry Partridge style and just do it by myself, it will never get made in a million years. I might get the first episode done in like a decade. So instead, I took 8 years to make 1,000 pages of comics. And that was my compromise.
Do you have a sounding board or like a muse or like just a is someone kind of giving you feedback, or is it just kind of happen in your in a vacuum?
I actually had most of the story done until like at least in some form. I kind of work on all of the parts of the section of the story at once. I think it was 2016 when I ran into the Spider Forest crew, which is a webcomic collective, kind of similar to Hiveworks, where we're just a group of creators that come together and we just kind of try to support each other and boost each other's webcomics and that kind of stuff. But we also share like a lot of technical stuff for how things can get done. Like I would never have gotten a Kickstarter off the ground without help from Christina Major from Zombulus. so because all of this information is super free, we also like beta read for each other sometimes. So you
Okay.
get a bit of a sounding board off, but most of them are familiar with how like critique is actually supposed to work. So it's
Right.
easier to be like, okay, so this is how we can make your story better. It's a good way to kind of get used to having someone semi-edit your comic, because you know they can be like, oh, I don't understand this, or I see what you're trying to do here, but I don't really understand it. So you know, being able to connect that way and just like be like, okay, just find out what's weird, because
Right.
I'm so project blind at this point. Like I can't read it and see things anymore. Like it wasn't until like I think 2 years ago, after working on this page for 4 years, I realized that my janitor teleports down the stairs. I was like, oh, she's got a giant like trolley. There's no way she can go down. And no one caught it. So I was like, okay, no one's pointed it out on the website either. So this is just going to happen, and we're just not going to discuss it.
So don't tell anybody. You're at the don't tell anybody stage of that.
I'm already on the second series. So as far as I can say, whatever's wrong with the first series, that's fine. This is baby work now.
That's right.
Right.
I love this to death. But these kids now owe me rent and are kicked out of the house. And, you know.
There you go.
There you go.
I have other children to take care of.
So, what theme? I mean, I know obviously, like, you know, people are going to read it and they'll reach their own conclusion, and that's what most writers will tell it. Well, like, whenever we ask this, that's what most writers say. They're like, "I'm not telling you; you have to do the work." But we're going to try it with you anyway.
Answer, by the way.
Okay.
We do love that answer. Yeah, especially Robo. Yeah. But what themes are you tackling here?
I mean,
Subtextually.
Subtextually. So again, I didn't like go forward with writing a theme. It wasn't until I got beta readers to be like, oh, this is your theme, that I was like, oh, okay, I'll use that for marketing. But it is a coming of age story. So it's young adult, teenage. It's about girls finding themselves in a world that's slowly, you know, pulling the curtains back and showing the actual terrifying concept of people that you can no longer trust, right? So like they're in a boarding school, they have nowhere to go, they're away from their parents, it's very isolated, and suddenly everything that is your home is turned against you. Like there's weird sigils in the walls that they find out later that react to these necklaces, but they don't know why. The teachers start getting really like wishy-washy and like weird and are dropping hints of information, but like not enough to actually understand what they're talking about. But obviously it's something that you're not allowed to know for some reason. You know, like there's it's just my experience as a bisexual person growing up was like gay people didn't exist. So as an adult, you realize like there was this whole conspiracy that the entire population agreed on that hid people that I was just not allowed to learn about until I was so much older. So like, I think a lot of that kind of context is what pushes the book forward, like metaphorically, is like, yeah, like a whole society can lie to you and tell you things, and you can grow up completely oblivious until you're older, until you like find that tripwire, until you start to develop feelings that you're not quite sure how to deal with. And then you don't know who to trust because nothing's open enough for you to discuss it.
Yeah.
So, you know, for these girls, the only people they can talk to is each other, because other than like they don't know what the consequences are of discussing it out loud.
Right.
So that's like a big part of this comic is just like, oh, I guess the world kind of sucks.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. See that. I feel like it's especially like more traumatic, I would say, when it kind of hinders you finding yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is not okay, or this doesn't even exist, and then you kind of resent the fact that like how much you know self reflection could I have gone through if you had just let me find myself, type stuff. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you read kind of stories like this, especially if they're on TV, and they'll say something along the lines in the beginning, any similarities to real life people are purely a coincidence or whatever. Is that the same with you? Is there any like real life people, and you don't have to name them, but like, did you use any real life examples for any of your characters? Are you one of the characters?
I mean, okay, so yeah, I'm a Mary Sue. I put a brunette with glasses as the main character. I can't deny that. I can't run away from that. I'm sorry. It's a self-insert. You can hate me later. But I mean, like, what high school girl who's a friggin' nerd like does not think about having magical powers or getting wings or like, I mean, come on. Like, you just have to go to fanfiction.net and see what all the 14-year-olds are thinking about.
Right.
And it doesn't change. So.
That's right.
I wouldn't say that I like directly put anybody that I actually know in there. Mostly because, like, as complex as I feel my characters are, they are not that complex. And I probably wouldn't actually go that deep into somebody that I personally know unless it was like very much more adult, serious content. But I will say that a lot of them are people who have inspired me, or traits that I've always wanted to have for myself, or, you know, situations that I've also wanted to, like, yeah, come out in a much better light. Like, I mean, no one likes their bully.
Right.
But, you know, the idea of someone being able to break down barriers and become closer through happenstance is not such a bad scenario. I'm not saying that you need to go out and hug your bully.
Right.
Nobody wants that. But considering the circumstances, if you have to work with, you know, people that, you know, could hurt you and then they start to change, I think that's very important for people to understand.
Right.
You know, characters do need to change. People can change. I mean, I was a garbage 4chaner when I was a high school kid, and I can tell you that anything I wrote on that forum at 16 is not something that I would say in any capacity right now.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Definitely.
I think a lot of us have that. That's what's cool about being old like me. Like, that era, there's nothing on the internet, so it's just it never happened. So
no, it's you know, you want to grow up, you want to get better, you want to become a better person, and a lot of that was just anger at myself, which is not something anyone has to forgive me for. But you know, it is important to know that people do get better, because otherwise that means that I can't get better.
For sure.
So
for sure.
Where do we get our hands on this? Yeah.
Okay.
How do we get a hold of this?
Like I said, you can actually get it through online at any of your favorite bookstores, like regular bookhouse bookstores. I haven't made connections with any comic book shops, but if they would like to, feel free to reach out to me at xiicomic.com. You can also read it for free at xiicomic.com 6 days a week, because the webcomic is actually behind the print editions. The print editions actually came out before the webcomic did, because I'm that far ahead. I've got like 800 pages of buffer, so you can grab it at Chapters, Indigo, Barnes and Noble, Waterstones, and hopefully Amazon soon.
And your own website too, right? To get the first prints.
xiicomic.com/store.
Do you sign those?
The books?
Like the first, if people purchase them from your website, will they get a signed copy, or
if they've requested it? Mostly because like my last shipment was me sending out like hundreds of books. So
you'll get carpal tunnel syndrome.
I've had a few people request a signage. I don't have an issue signing it, but I also probably will hit a limit if I have to do too many at once. So if you would like it signed, just put in a note that you would like it signed, and I can certainly sign it for you. Especially if you put somebody's name in there. I don't have an issue signing with a gift. I usually sign them at conventions, but we don't do that right now. So
yeah,
soon.
Cool.
It's almost over, I feel.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Awesome.
I'm half vaccinated. I'm almost there. Almost free.
Nice.
Cool. Check out Magic and Muses. Cool. I'm kind of excited to get my hands on that because it sounds pretty cool. I read the I read a lot of the I guess the review PDF, but that's not my favorite way to read. You know what I mean? So
Well, I
I'll
do
have
that
to.
because it's all PR, and if you want to get to the core of a story, you gotta get in there.
That's right.
Right on. So we're gonna get into the news. It's been a kind of an eventful week. Some the weird, the interesting, and the good. So we'll get started with bad idea. So bad idea is over. I don't know if anyone saw the tweet from Bad Idea. Just to kind of update everybody, I know just update. So Bad Idea, publisher started by Dinesh Shamdasani, the former owner of Valiant Entertainment, and everything about it really does sound like a bad idea. It's pre-order only. It's only select stores, no digital copies, no trade paperbacks. But the comic books are really good, and they have some of the greatest writers. They have Matt Kint, they got Robert Venditti, they got Doug Braithwaite doing stellar art. So these books have been really awesome so far, but they just put out an announcement. They emailed it to everyone and they tweeted it that Bad Idea is over. So they've announced plans to cease operations by the end of the year. The statement is, "We regret to inform you that despite our best efforts and all of your wonderful support, Bad Idea as we know it must end. Our sincerest thanks for the incredible journey. We'll be announcing and releasing books through the end of the year. Beyond that, Bad Idea is over." So on June 17th, Bad Idea will announce its final 5 stories, titles, and or creators. However, and this is a big however, one day prior, the company will host the final 5 pre-order day event. That's your only chance to order these books, and you have to order them before knowing what the titles are or who's creating them, because they're insane. So there's a lot to unpack here, and Robo kind of called it, and you can kind of give your 2 cents, but I think it's all a lie.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah. I think everybody collectively,
as we know it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Those are the words right there, as we know it. But even without that, like, that's like the for sure there's something up their sleeve. But even without that, I think we all collectively went, okay. Yeah. Okay. We're talking especially with this June 17th thing. Here's the deal. You know how, like, when you like trick somebody or you play a prank on someone, and then when they find out it's a prank, they go, "I knew it," right? And you're like, "No, you didn't. You were worried the whole time." If I'm like, full disclosure, I'd say I was worried a little bit. I was like, "Yeah, right, stop." Like, yeah. But seriously, you're not stopping, right? Like, you're not actually, So, and so I write my Bad Idea provider over here in Georgia, and so I'm like, "Hey, am I still gonna get that last shipment out?" And oh, by the way, did you see that post by Bad Idea? That's like not real, right? And I said, and so basically he said the same thing. He's like, right. I don't buy it. So my call is, and I wonder if this is going to be a marketing thing, but so we interviewed Dinesh. And so that's on the playlist. Go check that out after we're done here. And one of the things that he did talk about in there was how every time there was something about hype, about what they're doing, about why they don't do trade paperbacks or why they're doing select stores, one perspective is, what, you're just trying to generate hype. That's just hype. And then he actually explained the business side of it. Like, well, kind of, sure. Well, we'll make it fun, but there's a amount of money that Marvel and even Valiant lose as a part of their business model. And it's like, we're not going to do that. And so if stores have people that want to buy it, then we're going to send it to those stores. And I'm not going to send, $10,000 worth of comics to this store and none sell. And then that's it. We have to eat that money. Now, I think it's going to be an actual change. And I think it's going to be something as silly as a couple people have already said this, like, they're going to change the name to Good Idea. Or something along those lines. I don't think it's going to stay Bad Idea. But I also think, my point in like the pragmaticness of what is otherwise viewed as hype, I I think the bad idea pun, it might not, like, I think it's kind of run its course, you know, to where it's like, hey, it's a bad idea. And then you have the pun, and then I bet you there's like some marketing team that's like, do we want to keep it bad idea if we're trying to like make it a good thing? Like, is this something that's going to last? And I bet you they're like, I don't know. I think bad idea is not really working. I think it's making people not want to blah, 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 blah. And there's some sort of business background. We're going to get Dinesh back on, and I'm going to pitch that after the thing. I'm like, was this it? Was I right? And then he'll say no.
I think he's playing to use a dumb expression that people used to use to defend Trump's moronic decisions, but in this case, I actually mean it. I think he's playing 4D chess. I think he's like a genius. I don't know. Maybe not. But like he's gonna unveil he's gonna unveil the new title of the company and like their direction going forward in this crazy ass way. And it's going to generate a lot of hype. And then everyone's going to, just like with ENIAC #1, tons of people are going to buy these like first printings, and the price is going to go up to 1,000, just like with ENIAC #1. Yeah. And it's that like, that's just how he works. I don't know. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy idea. We have Warren Simmons coming on the show tomorrow. He's the other co-owner of the company. And like, we've never done hard-hitting journalism before because we're not really hard-hitting journalists, but I think we're going to make an exception.
Or journalists.
I think we're journalists, but I think we're going to have to like turn the light up, turn the light in his face. Like I'll be the bad cop. That's fine. I'll do it. And I'm going to be like, listen, Warren, nobody fucking believes that bad idea is going away. What's actually happening? What's actually happening?
And then I'll be like, hey, calm down.
Hey, calm down.
Sorry, Warren.
He's crazy.
He's having a bad day. But look,
yeah,
we could be out of here like in 5 minutes, okay? Like,
there's an easy way to do this.
Sneak in there and be like, so he's the bad cop, right? I'm good cop.
Yeah.
He's like a bad idea and a
good idea. So that's it, right? I thought we were going to talk about my book, guys. I was like, all right, fine.
Cool. So
I can chill any day, but like, I mean, this is all like stuff that really interests me because I'm like, I just mail stuff out of my tiny little post office in the woods. So like, finally,
see the trick. The thing you're missing is you have to lie to people. You have to constantly lie to people, and then even when they know you're lying, just lie harder. That seems to be the bad idea approach.
Well, guys, everyone in the world bought all my books except for this last one. You should buy it for like
5 minutes later. Yeah. Oh, I found another one.
He was hiding under the first one. Who knew?
Cool. So, Sandman news. Sandman, which very, very near and dear to my heart, and I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people, maybe not everyone, but a lot of people, that was their first comic book, or it was the first comic book they really, really cared about. But the Netflix just debuted their first look at what they call the Comics Faithful adaptation. Netflix shared a behind-the-scenes featurette from the Sandman that offered fans. Jesus, those dogs! All right, Netflix.
Come on, you're a journalist. You're supposed to keep stay on it.
Okay, the wind is hitting me in the face. The thunderstorm, like this, I'm like in a tornado, and I'm reporting on the scene. So, they released a behind-the-scenes featurette from the Sandman that offered fans their first look at the live-action adaptation. Video features commentary from Neil Gaiman, Dream actor Tom Sturridge, and Lucifer actor Gwendolyn Christie, which I did not know until I found this that she's playing Lucifer. Which holy fuck! Excited. Yeah, and it includes imagery that appears to be ripped straight from the comics, such as the helm, the bag, and the amulet. I could not be more excited for this show, by the way, especially just looking at that piece of promo art. Are you gonna play the video, or
is there a video?
I think there is. I don't know if there's a video. Maybe not.
I was gonna say I'm a little disappointed that I didn't know it was a Sandman tribute because I would have painted the little death like curlicue and with the mascara.
Yeah,
really showed up.
That would have been cool. Oh well. Sorry, guys.
We have time.
This got a lot. There's a lot of like, we didn't really plan to talk about it, but the amount of like Twitter drama of people attacking Neil Gaiman of all people over the
creator.
The creator over a woman of color playing Death is fucking insane. Just fucking insane. First of all, it's insane that you would challenge Neil Gaiman on his Sandman cred.
Something that he made like decades ago too. Like
right. But the other thing is the idea that the abstract embodiment of death, like completely not a person. It's not a person. It is a concept in human form. The idea that that is an inherently white character is insane. And it demonstrates complete no understanding of these comic books. I'm not going to mention it.
I was just going to say, like, American Gods came out like a few years ago, and like, do you not think that the same man who like helped with wrote American Gods and then helped with the production of American Gods would like not have a problem changing like the comic book?
Of course,
like,
of course not.
Yeah.
They drug some old tweets out where he said, "I really like comic faithful adaptations of comic books," and they use that as the I guess the impetus for these like criticisms, saying that he reversed his position. He didn't reverse his position. You can like comic faithful things that adapt the spirit of the book or the main themes of the book or even like some of the events of the book, but he was definitely not talking about keeping Death white. 100% not what he was talking about.
You ever like see a thing and it's super embarrassing? Like, what's the word? There's a German word for it. Not Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude.
It's not that. That's when you like find pleasure in somebody else's misfortune. But there's another one where you feel the embarrassment of somebody else. It's cringe. We say cringe, but I like the German word even more.
Zusammenzucken.
Not that one.
A different German word.
Yeah.
Fremdschamen.
That's it. So it's like when you feel embarrassment, not embarrassed for somebody, like you feel like you're the one being embarrassed. And it's
secondhand embarrassment.
Yes, that's it. Secondhand embarrassment. When watching these stupid fucks on the internet,
oh god,
like argue with the creator of like Neil Gaiman, like
it's Neil Gaiman.
Like
it's Neil Gaiman.
It is like freaking shill for Netflix. I'm like, oh, you guys are doing this out in the open, like.
People can see you. They read what you wrote.
Like, hey, you thought this were DMs, right? Please tell me you thought this was private. What are you doing?
These people would mansplain the Bible to Jesus. Like,
yeah. I mean, honestly, it's so weird too because it's just like how I don't understand how someone can be like this mad over anything.
Yeah,
because is it just that comics take all of my energy and I just cannot be that angry all the time about stuff that I love? Or
that's it.
Completely unjustifiable.
It's ridiculous. All right,
insane.
It's so weird.
So I got some more positive news. So check this out. Do you remember the Solo movie? Did any of you watch that?
Yeah. No, I don't think I've watched
Star Wars.
Star Wars Solo, a Star Wars story.
Oh yeah, yep, yes.
Yeah, I didn't love it. And it was just because the guy who played Han Solo just didn't seem like Harrison Fordy enough for me. But whatever. It wasn't like a terrible movie. I just couldn't really fall in love with the main actor. However,
for Charles Gambino.
Yeah.
However,
Everyone watched Orlando.
Oh yeah, that's right, Childish Gambino. I thought you said Charles Gambino, and I was like, "Who the fuck?" Is Charles Gambino?
I could tell. So we've known each other for so long.
I know who
your
Childish
silence
Gambino
was like, "The fuck is he talking about?" But I don't want to say that. I don't want to be mean right now. And it's
well, yeah, Charles Gambino was so good in that movie.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was. But so check it out, Emilia Clarke, and I got a funny Emilia Clarke story to follow this up with. But anyway, Emilia Clarke is thrilled because her character Kira is returning to the comics. So after disappearing from Han Solo's life at the end of Solo, a Star Wars story, Kira is back as the central player behind War of the Bounty Hunters, which there's 2 issues sitting right next to me that I haven't read yet. So that's probably where it happens. But anyway, War of the Bounty Hunters mega crossover event. Naturally, Amelia Clark is very excited to see how things play out. It means so much to me. Clark said. It means the absolute world. I know her backstory. I know her history. Maybe the movie didn't get to go there, but that was such an honor and a privilege to be part of that universe as an actor. So then to see the character actually be taken on to the origin of it all, bringing it on home to the family in that way, it cemented it in a way I was not expecting to feel as moved as I was by that. So that's my Amelia Clark impression.
Okay, so fell apart, a strong start, fell apart at the end, 6 out of 10.
It's because I'm a bad reader. I'm a bad reader. That's where I come from. I'll take 6 out of 10 though. That's a C. I think that's a C.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
I mean, that's 60% is an F, but don't worry about it. Yeah, it's fine.
So it's a D. It's a D, not an F.
All right, fine.
Okay. So what I think is interesting about her kind of quote there is, so when you are in a Star Wars movie, playing a character in a Star Wars movie that might have a more expanded storyline in other mediums, I guess they tell you what that expanded storyline is, because she already knows the origin. She knows stuff about this character that was never in the movie.
That's right.
So I don't know. I think that's kind of interesting. Do they have like a new? Is there a holocron for like the new or the Disney era Star Wars that like contains all of the knowledge that all knowledge comes from? I don't know.
Probably that wicked Disney contract you have to sign that also sticks your soul in the middle of it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like 3 generations of firstborns.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, they're hiring whole families now. So I mean, the Hemsworths have all been in.
I had that up for like 20 seconds. But
okay.
He's all excited. Oh, look at that one.
Oh, look.
It's your ADD again.
It's my ADD or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, funny story. Amelia Clark is also releasing a comic book called Mother of Madness, and she's doing it with Marguerite Bennett. So Marguerite Bennett is writing it. You might know her from Animosity and a bunch of other amazing stuff. She's an incredible writer. Marguerite has not been on the show.
Did you have her? You're supposed to like come up.
We've never had Marguerite on the show. I've emailed her. We'll see. But
still, I'll do a bad idea thing. But go check out the place anyway. She might be there. I don't know.
Who knows?
Go look.
Who knows? You know what? She has been on the show. This is the only show that she's ever been on, actually. So check out our playlist. That's right. Lie. Okay. But yeah, she's writing, and it's based on a concept from Amelia Clark, and it's like kind of looks like a fun thing, but the art is stunning. But anyway, I'm gonna definitely. I know it's like shooting way out of my league, but I'm gonna try to get Amelia Clark on this show. I've emailed her reps in the past. I'm gonna email again when it gets closer to release. But anyway, I was having a conversation with my friend Sam, and he's a writer over at Comic Book Resource. And sometimes when we get cool guests, I send him like a little message to brag because I'm a douchebag. And he always one-ups me. Like I'm always like, oh, dude. We're getting Matt Kint is going to be on our show soon, and he's like, "Oh, sweet! I just got off the phone with Garth Ennis," and I'm like, "Oh." But anyway, I told him that we were talking to we were going to be talking. I think it was Matt Kint. I told him we were going to be talking to Matt Kint soon, and he was like, "Oh, cool!" And then he sends me a screenshot of a Zoom call he just had with Amelia Clark because I guess he just interviewed her for CBR, and I was like, "Ah, oh, fuck you, dude! I hate you." But anyway, yeah, Sam Stone. So yeah, that's cool. I didn't mind that character. I liked that character. I liked 90% of the movie. I just didn't like the Han Solo dude. And that's pretty much all I have on that. That's all I have on that.
That was good.
So
yeah.
So now I'm gonna awkwardly transition.
And that is the end of that segment.
Talk about Charles Gambino some more.
Charles Gambino, yes. Hell of an actor.
What the fuck is he? There's nobody named Charles in this show. God, what an idiot.
So get this. This is like this feels like non-news, but it's news, but it feels like non-news. Marvel is apparently going to kill off Doctor Strange. Whatever that means. So Marvel released a mysterious teaser image.
The only one who dies is Uncle Ben.
That's it.
Right?
What if they do? What if
Uncle Ben should come back as Doctor Strange?
That would be so dope. You heard it here. You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first.
Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I don't know. They're doing something in September where they're going to kill Doctor Strange. It's the death of Doctor Strange. Just like the death of, I don't know, didn't Wolverine recently died
Yeah.
and came back?
Professor X is dead for how long was Professor X dead?
He was dead for a while, but he's
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Jean Grey was dead for a while, and she's back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, Captain America died, and now he's back. I don't know why they
I think he's died a few times.
He's died a few times.
He's died. He's come back. He's been cloned.
Why is this compelling? Why do they think this is compelling? You know? Why?
Maybe it's a metaphorical death.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like he's gonna change his name.
He's gonna lose his cape forever.
Yep.
He's gonna lose his cape. No. Maybe someone will show him something so surprising. He's gonna be like, "I just died." When I saw that,
he texts all he did. Someone sent him a joke, and he texts a bunch of skulls. Dead.
Yeah.
DED.
Find out he's been on a shroom trip this entire time.
Yeah,
like
that's
all the way going
what
back
it
to the
is.
thing. It's just one long shroom trip, and he's finally out of that time.
No, you know what's gonna happen? We're gonna find out that he was dead the whole time.
it's gonna be a Scarlet Witch boner move.
Oh, what?
A Scarlet Witch. WandaVision boner move. Remember the dude? His name is Boner.
No, I got it about 30 seconds ago, but I wanted to make it uncomfortable for you.
Oh, okay. All right.
But Boner, no, the actor's last name. The actor's last. Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's probably what it is. Anyway, you know what I mean when I say it feels like non-news? Like, who cares?
I mean. So, like we already said, so Wolverine, everybody is going to be dead, but they put it out like it's some big deal. I would like to think that it's going to be a big deal. I think you could be. I think you can have compelling stories, like the death of Superman, for example. I think we have done it. I think the '90s did it. I think everybody and their mother really did know. Not like 14-year-old me, but I think older comic book readers knew that Superman was going to come back. And I can't remember who said it exactly, but I remember somebody saying like, yeah, it's okay. Like it still can be impactful because if you're a good storyteller, the people that you're going to tell stories around that are being impacted by this death that you know is not going to be permanent. It's still a good story. Yeah. The characters don't know.
That's
and
right.
I think you can still have good storytelling with that.
Right. Like seeing Wolverine.
Am I reaching? I don't
know. When
kinda. Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those things where like, at this point, it's hard to tell whether the marketing is like about actually surprising people or if it's mostly just a marketing tactic to be like, this is a big story arc one.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right.
Read it.
When Nightcrawler died, like I think in like 2013, 2014, and we all knew Nightcrawler was not going to stay dead, but they did show like the characters mourning Nightcrawler, and it was moving. They were very, very sad, you know. Yeah. So
there's a recent example of that with Hickman's deal that he's doing now. It's like when Wolverine and Nightcrawler died out there next to the sun, even after we knew how they were going to come back, that was still a powerful panel for me. I was like, fuck. Because they were like, we're going to do this together, brother. And then they went out there and fucking died. And I was like, oh my God. Like, well, all right. They're going to get reborn here in a second. But that kind of like...
Technically, they're still dead. They did die, and they're never coming back.
Right, that's right.
Yeah,
that reminds me of the teleport. Yeah, the teleport story. Yeah.
You can always just make a new universe.
You can always make a new universe. That's true. They could have a super secret crisis war of infinite crises.
That's right. Franklin Richards' lost twin brother fixes everything.
Yeah. So I saw this and it was hard for me to get excited about it just because of the art and the way it looks, but whatever. I have an open mind. I'm going to try to like it anyway. Disney revealed their first look at Spidey and His Amazing Friends animated series. Marvel's Spidey and His Amazing Friends, an animated series, will follow the adventures of Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and Gwen Stacy. Entertainment Weekly recently debuted the first look at look at this shit. Like, well, what are we looking at here?
So check this out. I get mixed reception whenever I use the phrase "it's not for me." Can I say that for this? Am I allowed to say that I'm not 8? Okay,
because you're not 8. Yeah. It makes sense, and I'm glad like there's a cartoon for kids. Like I'm not one of those people that's like it should never be for kids. It's just like I read the thing and then I saw the images. When I read the thing, I was like, oh, Peter Parker, Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, holy fuck! There's gonna be Hulk, Black Panther, Miss Marvel, Rhino, Green Goblin, Doc Ock. Like I was like fanboy mode, and then they were like, oh, and Fall Out Boy is gonna do the theme song, and I was like, well, this is cool. And then I saw the image and I was like, oh, it's not for me.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to put a caveat out there that my exposure to Catwoman as a young 8-year-old girl was Michelle Pfeiffer in the Batman movies. And I wanted to read Catwoman comics. And one of the first Catwoman comics I read was the one where, is it Red Skull or Black Skull? Literally like scoops her eye out.
Black Mask.
And I was like, yeah, Black Mask. And I was like,
not for me.
Is it? I wanted to read a story about Catwoman, and I'm like 8 years old. What is happening?
Yeah,
right.
And your parents are like, "Yeah, comic books, go for it." Like, what's the worst that can happen?
He's reading, have a good time. So I'm very much like, I know this is not for me, but also, I hope you have comics for this too.
Right. That makes sense.
Just in that circumstance, because
I was a weird kid. I was a weird kid because I didn't like things that were made for my age group. Like if I knew it was for my age group, I rejected it because I thought that the next age group was the cool age group.
Oh,
so
like Ninja Turtles?
Well, I did like Ninja Turtles, but like I did sort of grow out of it. Like once I reached like 11, 12, like I still liked them, but what I really liked was walking in the living room and seeing Terminator on the screen and seeing like fucking violence and shit. And I don't know. That was the stuff I craved. I wanted like the most grown up stuff, the most violent, cool, like stuff, you know?
Right.
So I don't know.
I will say this about this stuff here. Here's what's funny is no, I wouldn't give it a chance really. But check this out. I had a kid at way too young, right? So I think 19, my then wife was pregnant. And so I had a daughter by 20. Karma said that she's going to do the same thing to me. So I'm 40, but I'm a grandfather. So I'm babysitting my grandson. And I'm sitting here and she and her mom went to do something. I'm like, I'm going to do some bonding time. Let's do this. He's way too young. He's like 1. Right? And she's like, to calm him down, just put on the Wiggles. And I'm like, I put on the Wiggles and I can't. It's like
you don't like the descent into the madness?
Well, it's like at first like I'm like, cool. But I'm like, holy shit, they sing 3 songs over and over again every episode. I said, I'm not doing this. So I'm going through the Disney and I'm like, Marvel. And this has got to be a spinoff because it's the same shit. It's this. You know, I think this one's for Spidey. They have one for the Avengers already. And I'm like, I'm going to get him involved in this. Now, let me tell you something. He's not old enough. He wanted the Wiggles. But I was watching Marvels. And I was actually sitting there with him, like, passed out. I'm watching it. I find myself I'm just watching him like, oh, Galactus? No, he's way bigger than that. But that's pretty cool, too. Right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I probably, if I was forced to, I would enjoy this, if I was being honest.
Okay. I've already been around enough parents stuck watching young children's cartoons that I know the exact extent of exactly all of the plot problems with Paw Patrol, even though I've never watched an episode of Paw Patrol, but I know all of the problems with the plot lines. So I mean, this might be a little better for you.
See, my experience with Paw Patrol and Backyardigans is TikTok right now, so it's all.
I did really like the Baby Shark song. I thought that was good.
Nobody
it got stuck in my head, and I liked it. So I think this made me laugh because Donny Cates and Ryan Otley got put on the Hulk. So they're going to be the new writers of the Hulk. But what really made me laugh was what Donny Cates said. Marvel, this is Donny Cates' quote related to this. Marvel just gave me the keys to the strongest one there is. Ha ha. Oh boy, you guys are just not ready for this. You're about to find out. You're about to find out what happens when Ryan Otley and I get angry. And guess what? Pretty sure you're going to like us a whole lot when we get angry.
I love
every time.
We know everybody knows we love the shit out of Donny Cates. Every now and then, you watch all the shows, and he'll wear the Colt shirt. I have the Colt shirt, but after a while, it's like
every time
you
ready.
are not ready. And if you were talking, he'd be like, "Marvel, let me write it. They fucked up because I am fucking wrecking it." You know, like okay, calm down.
All of your worst nightmares and wildest dreams are gonna come true on this next Hulk comic book. Yeah. It's like too much.
Yeah. So, I mean, you had World Breaker Hulk, right? Like,
where can you go? I don't know.
Like World Breaker. Where can you go? Al Ewing, God. Like Hulk becomes a god, and then it's the big green door. And oh, by the way, just like spider totems and every other fucking thing, the Hulk essence has been around since forever. And you know what I mean? Like, where can you go? You had the one below all. You had I can destroy the planet. Like, what are you gonna do? And I'll tell you what he's gonna do. He's gonna make Hulk not a Herald of Galactus. He's gonna make Hulk Galactus.
Right.
That's what's gonna happen.
Hulk Galactus.
Yeah.
Hulk Galactus. Now I'm picturing him breastfeeding for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, there he is.
Galactus. I got it.
Hulk
I got it.
Hulk titty.
It took me a second.
He's literally a nuclear bomb here. Like this cover, he is a nuclear bomb incarnate.
Yeah.
So,
part of me is hoping that he's like bringing all this hype up, and then it's literally just Banner gets married.
Yeah, and he stops hulking out.
Yeah. What if Donny Cates'
Hulk
wife
was no longer angry, and he went to therapy.
That's right. That's what this cover says. Hulks will do anything but go to therapy. God.
It's literally the Meatloaf song.
Yeah.
He'll do anything, but he won't do that.
Won't do that.
And not that. That's it. That's all the news.
That's good. That's a good news sesh.
Yeah, it was a good news sesh. Some really fun ones. By the way, there's this comic book called 12 Magic and Muses.
And wait, and let me tell you something. You're not fucking ready for this.
You are not fucking ready for this comic.
Ready. But Kristen Kiomall-Evans, they fucked up letting her get a comic book.
You guys just fucked up. Yeah.
Now you can have action figures. You gotta.
That's awesome. That is super.
Oh
awesome.
shit! Wait! I want to see. I want to get a better look at that. Let's see.
Whoop.
Show me the action.
And then she transforms.
Boom.
That's her action.
No, you're turning it around.
You're turning it around.
No, I'm too fast. I'm too fast.
That's super awesome.
Cool. Yeah, definitely check that out. It's pretty good. I definitely plan on reading more of it. I like what I've seen, and she does it all herself.
That's actually thanks, Danny. Thanks, Danny.
Yeah, I literally do everything from the website design to from writing to marketing. So please read my book because it's a lot of work. For any other reason than that, I need to know that the last 8 years has some value, please.
But you just told us about this whole trunk full of books you just sold. So now you're millions of dollars rich.
Somewhere there's a truck full of books, and you can get your hands on it.
So this is
just lied and threw them in a landfill.
Bad idea. Lie. Keep lying.
Too honest. I'll never make it in this industry.
I don't have pictures. I don't feel like looking that hard. But oh no, skip ad.
What is the Super Pets announcement? I missed it.
Yeah, no, this is a new show coming out called That. What you just said.
I see the name Keanu Reeves, and I'm
and look at these voices.
Kate McKinnon. What?
Yeah,
I love Kate McKinnon. Kevin Hart. Ah, this is good.
Kevin Hart, Keanu Reeves, John Krasinski. That's Jim from The Office. If you didn't know, and
these are all the actors that I want to be best friends with. In the same place.
Look at that.
Wow, that is outstanding. I'm 100% on board with that.
That's awesome. I'll watch. Somebody who was it? Was it Glenn who said? Glenn said, "You like Donny Cates?" Yeah, I guess we're kind of fans. We're kind of fans. But I think it was Glenn who says somebody said, "I hope Keanu Reeves plays Crypto." And he like flips out because they killed Superman and it's all about Crypto going and killing everybody because they killed.
I hope he plays John Wick and one of the dogs dies.
Oh
and
man,
this is actually John Wick 5.
He's just John Wick. wait! I just want to say that you said on the internet, I hope one of the dogs die. You're canceled.
You're done.
You're
That's
canceled.
It'll be the
Yeah.
Uncle Ben dog.
Yeah, then he stayed. Now you want him to stay. That's the only permanent death, and that's the one you want him to be. You are horrible. All right.
So, I mentioned this before, but
That's how we do transitions. By the way, we just wait till there's an awkward silence and he starts talking.
That's it. That's it.
Now
That's
that
how I
we're
do
done
it.
talking about dog death, let's move on.
But I don't always know what I'm going to say. So usually my lead-in is just so.
Speaking of dog death,
speaking of dog death, you'd be really killing the dog if you missed our Club Valiant episode.
Yep.
That on the 20th. So I don't know who in the chat watches the Club Valiants, but I know some of you do. We're doing these are fun. We have a lot of fun. We read the book, we chat about it, and then we show pictures of it, and we guess where it's going, and it's pretty cool. We're doing Exo Manowar.
Pretends like he doesn't know where it's going, even though he read them
Yeah,
all.
I just give a blank stare when people are like, "Huh, I wonder if Exo Manowar is gonna become less brutal or something." I'm just like, I don't know.
He's like, I don't know.
We're doing Planet Death next, Volume 3. And 20th. Also Delirium Hour, which is Glynis helped come up with that name. That's on the 27th. So Manowar, Planet Death on the 20th, Delirium Hour on the 27th. If you want to be if you want to be part of it, or you want to join in the festivities, just get your hands on Preludes and Nocturnes. It's the first volume of Neil Gaiman's Sandman series, and I think you can find it pretty much I think it's on Comixology or something. Actually, it might be on DC Infinity. I'm not 100% sure, but worth taking a look. Because I know it's technically a DC comic and they got rid of Vertigo, so
it's 100% on Comixology as a part of the subscription. I didn't check the DC one. Excuse me.
Or you just go to your LCS and get the trade, which I'm sure they have. If there's one thing I'm sure they have, it's that. So that's pretty much it. Oh, we got some cool guests coming. We're talking to Warren Simmons tomorrow. We're talking to Tom Brevoort the week after that. We're talking to Matt Kint the week after that, and then we got other guests lined up on our calendar. So you can all kind of look forward to that.
Not as cool as Zoom interviewing Amelia Clark, but
yeah.
Or even Judah's imitation of Amelia Clark. That was almost as good. It was very close.
I could put on a big Daenerys wig and be Amelia Clark, and you can interview me, and I'll give the answers I think she would give. Which
that might be entertaining.
It's not quite Amelia Clark.
Actually work. Yeah.
No man.
Highest watched video ever.
Career as Amelia Clark impersonator.
Yeah. Is that it? Are we done?
That's it. That's the whole show.
Ladies and gentlemen and MBs, thank you. That is the end of the show. Don't forget to check out. We always say in the description. Sometimes I put it there. Sometimes I don't. But Kristen Kiomall-Evans, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So check out the book. I promise I'm going to click end on this video and I'm going to put the links in the description. I promise. Just wait 5 minutes or.
Do you have the mouse already hovering over end so that when we're done, there's not an awkward?
No, but that's the best part. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right.
Click it.
Damn it.